Hello everybody, we are excited today. I have another testimony, a burning testimony of a conglomeration of things. I have with me Mother Clara Smith. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, Pastor.
I'm so glad to have you here. You've been in my heart to testify. You know, I know a lot of things, some things I don't know that God has done recently from you. But let's just start. I remember you saying something, now you love your job. Why do you love your job so much now?
I love my job, Pastor. I was 2 years without a job.
2 years?
2 years. Even as a professional and in a managerial position, I lost my job, and I was constantly putting in the applications, different places, but I guess it wasn't the right thing because God would not let me get those jobs.
Okay.
I was qualified and even more than qualified for a lot of the positions I applied for, but it just seemed like no one would hire me, and it was just so downheartening to say, you know, why can't I get a job? Even my position was much needed.
So you're very qualified and can do just about anything that deals with your profession.
Right.
But the question is now, in that 2 year period, if you didn't have a job, how did you survive?
The grace of God.
Well,
The grace of God.
Somebody needs to hear that.
The grace of
how does
God
that
is
work?
how I just prayed and asked God, and He would send people that did things for me to meet my needs. I lost my vehicle, but yet I'm still driving.
Never
Even
stop
driving
driving.
today.
Wow.
You know, He just touched people, not even people that I thought would help me, that just came to my rescue and provided for me. And then I lost my place to stay.
Oh my goodness.
And that's been some time ago, and God has even provided me on that level. I've had different illnesses that were it was very severe when I was diagnosed, when I found out I had these problems. And this was during the time, even though I didn't have a job and, you know, no means, no insurance, anything, but I had an accident, and God saw fit to make that accident be a healing process for me, because I found out something that was going on in my body that I wasn't aware of. I did not know. And when I found out, I was more concerned about it actually than the accident. But
well, stop for a minute. If I recall, you used to work in the Lord's storehouse.
Yes.
You were always the one to volunteer for this, that, and the other. I know you to keep people in your home, and so you're saying you've sown all this, all your time, your energy, your money, and even provided your home for people to stay. And now all the things that you've done, like it's going away from you. It's not working for you.
Right.
And so in the process of all this, I'm seeing you said, but people just started bringing things. God would touch the heart of people.
Yes,
My goodness.
Yes.
Wow.
People just became my providers.
Okay, let's skip to the job now. You finally got a job after 2 years.
I did.
Wow.
I was doing my constant routine of putting in applications and at the library because I didn't have internet. And I had put in applications for the day, and I was still scrolling through, and this job came up for an industrial position. And I was like, okay, I might apply for that Monday when I come back, because the library was closing, and the voice said, do it now. So I quickly went ahead and sent my resume to this, little job requirement list that they had. And amazingly, the lady called me on Saturday.
Wow.
She called me and said she saw my resume, and I was hesitant to answer the phone because I didn't recognize the number.
Okay.
But I said, who would be troubling me on Saturday if it wasn't something that, someone needed me or wanted from me? So when I answered, and she said she saw my application, she wanted to do a video, on the computer. What do you call that when a Skype? She wanted to do a Skype interview. So I said yes, and I did that, and she had already decided that she wanted me for the position. And then I had to meet another person. I met 2 more people. Actually, I went for the interview, and she had already told me, she says, well, I want you for this position, but I just wanted the other people to also interview you.
So in comparison to the job that you no longer had, how does this job compare to that?
This job does not even compare to that job because I love this job. I love going. It's so much freedom. I just enjoy it. It's what I really, really want to do. And when I think about it, God put in my mind, he said, you know, I had you on this type of position when you first began nursing.
Wow.
But you felt it was boring
Wow.
and you wanted to do something exciting. So I let you do all the exciting and the tedious jobs and the difficult shifts. But
Right.
now I've put you back
Wow.
in that
Wow.
perfect position where I need to be.
There's so many people right now that they have jobs and they're not happy.
Right.
That's what the people say. I hate my job. And
I was one of those people.
Now you're saying you love
For
your
many
job.
years,
Oh, my
I
goodness.
was one
Oh,
of
my
those people.
Wow.
Seriously.
But the thing is, through all this, I still have known you to be a giver.
Yes.
There's not a time I don't think you've ever not been a
Yes.
giver. So the little bit that you had, you were giving. We've been talking about first fruits a lot lately.
Yes.
And what is first fruits? This is news to me. I just know that Lord just told me to call you because I know He had done something with first fruit. Simply because you mentioned, said, Pastor, I want to give first fruits.
Right.
And so now tell me what about first fruits?
First fruits, at first I didn't understand it.
Okay.
I did not understand it, and I told you, I said, well, Pastor, when you talked about it and talked about it several times, I said, I think I have an understanding of it. Even though I was giving to it, I didn't fully understand it.
Okay.
So, and then I had the mind to ask you to do the first fruit offerings every service.
Yes,
you remember,
yes,
you
did,
told me
you
you
did.
were
I mean,
already going to do that.
In fact, so many people have beat you to say that.
Right, let's
So,
do
yes.
it every service.
Yes.
So I had been given to first fruits, and even telling other people about the first fruits and how I felt about it. And I just knew God was going to do something because the way you said that this is my first fruits, but it's to be continued.
Absolutely.
And I knew I had these requests, before the Lord, not only for me, but for my children and my family.
Wow.
And one of my most urgent needs was a place to stay.
Wow. Wow.
Was a place to stay.
Wow.
I needed, and even though I have not had my own home, I could say, for almost 8 months. And I know you didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
For almost 8 months.
Wow.
People have been providing for me and allowing me to stay in their home. But I think when I talked to you yesterday, I told you I was calling you because I missed your call. And I was sitting in front of a house
Wow.
that I had applied for.
Right.
And today they called
Oh
me.
my goodness.
And that's why
Oh my goodness.
I was so delayed
Oh
because
my
they
goodness.
had me sign papers and I'm to clear
That is
everything cleared up
amazing.
coming Monday.
Now, I
So
just called you
I
yes-
said I
Oh.
wanted to
Oh
tell
my
you that
goodness.
because you didn't know.
I didn't know. Oh my goodness.
So
Oh my
that's
goodness.
what I feel First Fruits has really, really done for me, that I can see definite signs from
Wow.
operating on that level. And it's
It's
just
amazing
wonderful.
because I'm telling you, I wanted to call you last week and I couldn't get around to it. I wanted to call you earlier this week. I couldn't get around to it, but I called you on today. Is Friday, by the way.
Yes.
And
Good Friday.
I called you. That's right. I called you on Thursday.
You did.
And God made the miracle happen on Friday.
It happened.
Oh
It
my
happened
goodness. What
just
a
like
God
that.
thing that
God
is.
is just awesome. I've
That
just
is
been praising
awesome.
Him all day, and even different people calling different ones and telling them, and that's why time got away from me. And I'm way in another city where I'm living, but I will be closer and back. I feel like at home where I
Thank you,
belong.
Lord. So
God is so good.
So God's been.
God is awesome.
That's amazing.
It is
Well, let me tell you
amazing.
what. This is what I want to commend you for. You didn't wear your trouble. You didn't wear your trials or your tribulation.
True.
You had the joy of the Lord on your face, no matter how you're feeling inside.
Right.
Somebody needs to understand that it's not always easy.
It isn't.
But when it's your time for blessing,
Yes.
blessing comes. So you need to tell somebody something
need to
today.
tell you that.
Tell somebody something today.
Troubles will come, and I tell you, I have had my share, and probably I feel like I've had more than my share of troubles.
Wow, tell them.
To the point that where I just said, God, I'm going through so much. Why do I have to continue to live?
Wow.
Even though I wouldn't do anything to harm myself, but
Right.
I was tired of going through.
Wow.
And I said one reason, like you said, I didn't wear my troubles. I didn't want to just tell my troubles until I was able to tell
My testimony.
a testimony
Oh, my goodness.
of how God, not what I was going through, but what God has brought me through.
Oh, my
And
goodness.
God can bring you through it.
Yes,
I
yes.
want you to know, no matter what it is, how hard it may seem, it seems so difficult because I knew what I could do and I knew what God had already made possible for me to be able to do. He gave me the education, He gave me the skills, but why weren't they being used?
Wow,
And
wow.
I could see now He had something special for me.
And also, you had to reap some of the things that you have sown.
Yes, I guess.
As for you had to provide
But I
for your home
didn't
for
do them
people. I know,
to reap.
but I know, but God, God allowed that. He made people provide for you. It's
Yes,
like
he did.
almost when the famine was prophesied by Elijah, God commanded the ravens to come and feed him. And then when that went dry, he commanded a woman that didn't even know it, but she had to feed him. And I want you to understand that there's somebody out there now, right now, you're going through, and maybe you've been going through for a long time, and you need a turnaround, a radical change. First of all, God is able. God loves you. And the reason why he has these offering things is not to take your money. It's to take what you can't do with it and make it happen for you. And I want you to understand, giving is God's way of blessing you. And he's ready to do that. Little will become much. And you attest, I didn't know. I didn't know.
I know.
But
a lot of people don't know. Only ones that knew were the ones that did come to my help. And you mentioned about Elijah and the ravens, and I would always say, Lord, I thank you for the ravens.
Well, my goodness.
That was what my response to God for every time someone did something for me. I think about that and I say, Lord, I thank you for my ravens.
My God. Well, somebody's being blessed by that. And somebody's life is getting ready to radically change.
I hope so.
And from what we were talking about earlier, there are more things to come. We'll share. We're going to bring it back because there's some things in the working that God is yet doing for you.
Yes.
And get ready for that. Because God's getting ready. When one thing stops, it don't stop. It's continuation.
It's continuing. And you said extreme.
That's right.
And to get ready because things are happening so fast.
That's right.
And
On
that's
the heels
how
of
I
the
feel
other.
like
That's
they're
right.
just like rolling, even with my children getting jobs.
Oh, my goodness.
Different things. My son and my daughter getting positions.
Oh, my goodness.
Just everything is just kind of, it's like
it's a household
snowballing.
thing.
It's a household thing.
Thank you, Lord.
We all share together when we have a problem.
Wow.
And we know when each other is going through. So God is even blessing in your family through
he
my
is.
family.
That's right.
Yes, he is.
My nephew is married to your daughter.
Yes.
Which is my daughter-in-law. So God bless you.
Yes.
There you have it. This is something that God is going to do for you. The reason why you're hearing this is because God said, I have no respect to persons. What I've done for one, I will do for you. God bless you. Until then.